cold paid ads are still one of the fastest ways to scale a coaching or info product business in 2026. But the way most people are running them is completely outdated. They're using old strategies, overcomplicating their ad account, and they end up blaming the algorithm when things don't work out. The reality is, Meta ads hasn't stopped working. It's the strategies that people are using that has. As Meta has leaned more into AI with the use of Andromeda, what they're looking for from a market has completely changed. If you've noticed, if you've been running ads for any amount of time, you probably saw around that October, September timeframe where shit just started hitting the fan and a lot of your ads stopped working because you weren't up to date on the stuff we're gonna be talking about in here. So in this video, I'm gonna break down the best strategies that I've used in my business to go from zero to over $1 million per month in under 2 years. It's the same strategies that I use with my clients to push and pass 100 to 300K per month. So let's get into this video. But before we get started, I wanna be super clear. If you're brand new here, what's up? My name is Mar. I've been in the info space for only 18, 19 months now, but took my business from around zero to over $1 million per month in that time frame when I started back in March 2024. And look, I wanna be super clear here. The point of this channel is to give you all the lessons that I've learned over the years. No BS, no fluff, but I don't know you from a brick in the wall, right? I'm just sharing what works for me and my clients. There's no guarantee that what you're gonna do is get you to pass $1 million a month like us, or even to 100, 300K. It's just sharing with you what works. Let's get into it. Okay, one of the things that I see time and time again is a lot of people that come into the info and coaching space, where they start off is organically, right? They already have a following on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn or X or somewhere out there in the social media hemisphere, right? And people are following them, people wanna know what they do, people wanna learn from them, and boom, they start having a coaching product or info product. And what happens is eventually there's something called what we call face fatigue, right? People stop caring about you and there's a new hot pretty girl on the block and everyone's like, see you later. And you still want to make money, right? So what you do is you go into paid advertising. I did the exact opposite. I actually freaking hated content. I like talking about this stuff, but it's hard to make content, to be real. So I went right into paid because it was just freaking mad. But what I see is when people go from organic to paid, they literally think the same things that work with organic that people have that watched them for months and years and finally gave them some money is going to work when you talk about paid. Doesn't happen. Think about when you go into paid traffic is you need to understand that we are in a trust recession. This isn't back in COVID times where people were just slinging money at any kind of info product and anyone can make like multiple 6-7 figures a month. I wish I was doing it back then, but anyway, I wasn't. This is a time where people literally just don't trust you, right? People have been screwed over a tremendous amount of times. There's people that literally just scam people, take their money, piece, do all this kind of crazy stuff. So you have to accommodate that. When we talk about running paid ads, what we're looking to do is condense the organic cycle. Meaning, how do I bring somebody from literally just seeing me all the way to trusting me? And how do I do it in whatever your sales cycle is? For us, it's around 12 days. How do I bring somebody in there from seeing me to trusting me to giving me multiple $1,000s per month? You have to understand that you need to recreate the organic cycle in your paid traffic funnel. And this is where a lot of people first screw up. You see, when you go into paid ads, right, you have to understand that there's a bunch of AI going on. There's a lot of targeting going on. We had this update with Andromeda where people are literally just getting spoken to differently by Facebook, the same way that it used to work. Let's just say you've been marketing for a few years now, right? I haven't, but only 2 years. But what used to work for us is we would find what we call a majority hook. We will find some angle that super resonated with our audience and we would beat it to death. We would redo the videos, change the B-rolls, and we'll just keep beating that hammer to death, and it will work, right? We could renew creatives every month, 2 months. This one ad, I was jumping off a freaking forklift, right? And it made I think that ad made us about 400 or 500K, right? And I ran it for 6 months, right? Made minor changes here and there. This does not work in today's day and age. When we talk about Andromeda, one of the main things is diversity, right? You have to understand that when Facebook is testing this new AI thing at our expense, what they're looking for is diversity. They want to make sure that they can hit majority hooks, minority hooks, all these different types of angles. So here's how we operate, right? What we do is we literally create an avatar. What is our ideal avatar? What do they work at? What do they live at? What do they look like? What job do they have? How much money do they make, right? We have our ideal avatar. And what we do is we create all these different angles that will resonate with them. You want to know how many different angles we create? I'll give you a number, 15 to 20 different angles, right? We don't know which one is going to work. I can have an idea, strong idea, might even be the best one. But while I give Facebook all of these, what happens is they're able to find these little pocket audiences, boop, 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 that will convert. So instead of really just leaning in on like this big one right here, like number one over here, we get to lean in on all 15. This is a big change, right? When it talks about the amount of volume you need to put out when first launching your ad campaign. I can't stress this shit enough. Like, I used to be able to release an ad campaign with like 5 creatives, 10 creatives. Now, when I release it, I'm putting in like 15 different creatives on an ABO budget. Like this is what I'm doing. I'm not, like, we still use dynamic, to be fair. For those of you who are new, dynamic is just when you put everything in and let Facebook like pick and choose. All right, hopefully not new though. This is not a channel for newbies. But either way, right? We put in like 15 different creatives in an ABO and a non-dynamic, and the dynamic, we're still gonna pack it up with 10 different creatives in there, different variations, but we're maxing out. We're literally trying to max out on all these different angles, and we're letting the system figure it out, right? Complete trust in that Facebook wants me to make money so they can make money, right? But it's a volume game when you first start. I don't care if you're gonna test. Like, I'm launching for a client in about like 4 days, and we're gonna test on like a 200 a day budget, right? Still, had that dude go shoot 15 ads, right? You need to shoot 15 ads. I don't care if we're testing on light budget, right? We gotta give the machine what it wants. I can't stress this enough. If you are one of those people that have been struggling running ads for a while, this might be your main bottleneck. I know it was for a while with us, was really just not enough freaking volume, right? Increase the freaking volume. I like to keep it in my back pocket, right? Like 20 to 30 ads in the back pocket in case I get ad fatigue, something happens, I can plug and play. Because the worst thing you can do is when you're running traffic, you have some ads that are kicking butt, and all of a sudden they start to decrease, and now you're like, oh shit, I don't have any other ads. I gotta go to my client or myself, I gotta go shoot ads, get them edited. That might take a few days, and then all the time my costs are going up. So I either need to shut off a campaign that I could have just fixed, or I need to just run it into the ground where it's not making me any money, right? Be proactive, not reactive. Have a bunch of ad creatives in your back pocket. The more the freaking merrier. Like, we spend like damn near 400K per month. We're always putting out new creatives. Always, always, always. It is absolutely freaking mandatory. Always having new creatives out. And this is what I can't stress enough. This is what Andromeda is about. Volume in different angles. I hope that makes sense. Now, other thing that people really struggle with from what I've seen when it comes to, like, okay, they move from organic into paid. They understand, they're slowly building out their stuff. They're building a VSL funnel or an IGDM funnel or a low to high ticket funnel, webinar funnel, whatever. They're building what they want to build. Like, what makes the most sense for them. Like, so many people go into a VSL funnel. Quick story. We ran a VSL funnel for the first year of business. I capped out at around 120 to 150K a month. I just kept beating that drum, beating that drum, beating that drum. And can I make it work? Yeah, but I wasn't playing to the strengths of my team. When you build a sales team, guess what? You have to understand what your sales team is strong at and what they're weak at. You might have a killer sales team, like some dogs, where no matter what kind of lead you throw at them, they are going to eat it up. So what do you want to do, right? You want the lowest friction funnel because you got a killer sales team. They're going to do their job. They're going to take it over. Boom. Let's run with that. But guess what? In like offers that I run with the sales team I operate, I flip the script on that. I try to put as much pressure on myself to actually deliver and as little pressure on them as possible. A lot of my people on my sales team, it might be their first offer, second offer, third offer. They don't have years and years of experience to really be dogs. But does that mean I shouldn't make money? They shouldn't make money? No. But I use a funnel that like literally makes it as easy as humanly possible. For me personally, right now, what I'm leaning on is live webinar funnels. I run them. My clients run them, all of these things. This is what we do right now because the sales team isn't like exactly what we needed, but the stronger they get, we start injecting new funnels. Find a funnel, not what works for just you, what works for the entire team and entire business. Here's the thing, and this goes back into the trust recession part, right? If people do not trust you, they will not buy from you, okay? They have to trust you. What builds trust? This is so simple, but let's talk about it. Consumption. The more of your content someone consumes, the more they will trust you. So what is that going to come from? Like, let's say on a webinar, my webinars go 3 hours, sometimes 3.5, 4 hours, right? There's a thought process where it takes someone 7 hours of content to be able to convert, right? If I can knock out half of that in one webinar for hundreds and hundreds of people, and I could redo one where they show up to a second one, I've knocked out that 7 hour cycle in just 2 showings up for me because I'm selling one to many, right? It also depends on how hot your offer is, right? If I'm gonna offer that's a little more outdated, right? People don't like it as much and have a negative experience with it, which we have in ours, honestly. So I need to build more and more trust in someone who's like launching like an AI offer right now. Like AI is so freaking hot. I'll be like, yo, I'll teach you how to make AI cameras. Like I'm some bullshit. It makes no freaking sense. People are like, oh my God, I'm gonna make the AI camera. And they just throw money, right? But you gotta understand like what the offer is, how much trust is around the offer, what your sales team is good at, and build something that actually works for them, right? I can't stress this freaking enough. And be okay with testing. If you go in there and test the VSL funnel and you're really like, my ads are dialing, my messages are dialing, the sales team is not closing. Shit, can I make a change? Do I need things to dial in? But move aggressively and get this shit done. The quicker you crack a funnel, the easier it is to scale. We live in a crazy time where like there's a lot of money out there if you know what to say and how to say it to them. So once you have built all your ads, you're testing your funnel, you're dialing in your sales team, you got to make a decision. Can I scale this bad boy or can I not? For us, that's usually if we're making at least a 3x return on ad spend, we know we have room to scale. 4x is cool, 5x is even better. But if we're cracking under 3x, usually that doesn't work, right? So just make sure you're literally understand trust recession, as much trust as you can possibly build in your material. And then you give that to the sales team via the right funnel. Now, let's talk about trust a little more, right? Because this is part of super important. When you are building trust with somebody, right, you can do it in a few ways, right? One thing that we do, group Q&As, right? We talk to them, right? Multiple times a week. Ask questions, answer questions, honestly, truthfully, the good, the bad, the negative of the business model, what we do, what we coach on. Like that raw honesty builds trust. And it also repels the wrong people. If I have somebody where I've had people come to me like, man, I just want to make money in the next 30 days. I am actively going to tell you, shut the hell up, go somewhere else. I'm not going to BS you. You got a lot to learn. You got a lot to do. You might not make a single dollar in your first 30 days. Be okay with that, right? But these group Q&As, it builds connections, builds trust, and it does it in a one-to-many nature. This is one thing that I find is honestly perfect. Next thing is going to be confirmation pages, right? Look, after someone books a call with you or purchases your product, you have an opportunity to speak to them on your confirmation page. So build trust there. Let them know a little bit more about your story. Let them know a little bit more about your offer. Show student results. Show the good, the bad, the ugly. If you have things on Reddit that have people have said about you, good, bad, ugly, speak on it, right? The more open you are about the good, the bad, the ugly, the better people you will get in, the lower your refund rate will be, the lower your dispute rate will be, the better your community will be. It's just something you have to focus on. Confirmation page is a great place to begin that process, right? Group Q&As, confirmation page. One of the things that I like to do, and I haven't done it as much, it's like the end of the year right now, so I've been like really chilling with family so we could get back to this grind. Selfie videos, right? I'm A-okay. I tell my team, like, dude, if you need help on a selfie video of me talking about something you couldn't really handle on a sales call, kick it over to me. Now, I don't let them run wild. I'm not like every freaking, like, pick me, like make a selfie in the next 5 minutes. Like, no, dude, like, I have 2 days a week where I take like 30 minutes, I chop up, I get my selfie videos done, I send them out, they're good to go. But I try to build as much connection and trust as humanly possible. Look, you can get super creative with here. There's a lot of ways you could do it. We're even trying out some new AI tools that can do a lot of this stuff for us, right? Even the selfie videos, you could test it out. But really, at the end of the day, look, play to the strength of your sales team. Understand you have to put out a lot of volume with Andromeda, and understand that if you're in, it's an overall trust recession, it's overall a recession too, right? You got to build a shit ton of trust. If you have a hotter offer, you got to do a little less. If you have a not so hot offer, a little more dated one, maybe one that's not in style, make sure that you are freaking doing what you need to do to close the deal and build trust. The last nugget I'm gonna leave you with, and I think I'll make a different video about this because it's a little off topic but super important, is when you're creating your ads, right? If you can have an ad that is in alignment with where the market is going, and what I mean when I say that is like, think about it. If you can introduce AI in your ad, if you're using AI in your business and you speak about that, if you talk about like when the tariffs were going on, we would release ads that spoke against the tariffs or how we don't have to worry about tariffs. Like, understand what's going on in people's head right now, and you speak to that in your ad, you will have cheaper costs, meaning you will get more profitable, you get more money, even if other shit is fucked up, because your ad cost goes down, your cost per lead goes down, your cost per book call, you make more money. So always think from a perspective when you're doing your marketing and you're just like creating ads, how can I speak to like a grand narrative? Like, what's actually going on in the marketplace so people are actively thinking? I'll talk more about that in another video though. So that's the best cold ad strategy for scaling the info product business in 2026. If you want help scaling your own info product business, my team and I help people really stuck in that like 10, 15, 20, even 30K a month range, scale them up to 100 to 300K per month. We do this by using paid ads, high converting offers, and the exact same sales and marketing systems that I've used to scale my business to over $1 million per month in under 2 years. Just hit the link in the description to book a call with me. If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more breakdowns of exactly what we're doing to scale our business up to $2 million a month and our clients up to those multiple six-figure months. I'll see you in the next one. So what we do is we take coaches, we walk them through our exact ad strategies, how we actually market to people that would actually have enough money, create the right offer, the right pricing, the complete funnel breakdown and financial model to actually show how much profit will come at the end of the day. We build those systems in from the complete funnel, right? We go over what to put on the page, what to put in your type form, your application, your confirmation page, what you need to say on your sales call to actually close a deal, all the touch points and sales assets you need to actually get someone to convert. Look, this is an A to Z process on how to go from investing money into a marketing machine like Meta and getting multiple 3 or 5x out the other side of it. That's what we work on our clients with.